Hello and welcome. It's Michael Ballard of Resiliency for Life, and the purpose of today's video is to talk to you about getting started on your master resume. And if you're 13 years old and over, right now, today is the time to start your master resume. Your master resume is not a resume that a boss is ever going to see or a manager. It's you starting to inventory your skills and accomplishments. Now, I brought my notes because I've got a great memory, not a perfect memory. So a master resume is a list of your accomplishments in career and jobs, part-time and full-time, hobbies, volunteer work, travel, education, languages, specialized skills, and what did you accomplish in each one of them. And as you build this out, whether you're 13, 23, 37, 54 years old, doesn't matter. A master resume is where you keep a progress of where you're going and what you've done and what you've accomplished. So that when it's time to customize the resume for that special job, you can go, oh yeah, master resume, and pull out what you need under qualities and qualifications. And don't overlook things. Your master resume should have it all. A key example, a young man I was coaching spoke 2 languages at a professional level and had a 3rd language just to get buy-in. He'd met a young lady at 17 and he'd learned 700, 800 words so that he could date her. And like he said, by 19 he had met her parents. And things were getting serious. But people go to university, they change cities, things change, and then ultimately they broke apart. And I met him in his 30s, and by then he was married with a wife and 3 kids. And I kept saying, so I remembered another language, it's not on your resume. He said, oh, I don't know it that well. No, employers want to know what languages you speak. Is it everything? No, but out of a list of 100 things, it could be the one thing makes you different. Guess what? He got hired out of the 70 graduates I was working from that group. He was the first one hired. Why? He had this 3rd language. And in the whole catchment area they were looking, out of 2,000 potential hires, narrowed down to 100, he was the only one that spoke the 3rd language. He got the job first. 69 other classmates going, wow. So he had good marks. He was a 75 to 85 student. But he wasn't a scholar in the 85 to 100 range. But he got the job because of his language skills. So don't overlook your language skills. If you can order lunch, ask where the bathroom is, say hello and talk about the weather, you have what I call social language skills. If you've got the 300 words to 500 words, put it down that you have basic social skills in that language. Can you read it too? Put that down. So master resume, inventorying. So after you've got this list of what you've been doing, qualify and quantify. What do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about the young entrepreneur as an example who had a lawn cutting business. At 12 years old, he started a lawn cutting business. He got a small business loan from a relative, shopped and helped buy the equipment, had to help somebody get him to pick it up at the market because he couldn't drive there. Went door to door and grew the business to he had 11 lawns to cut. Kept the business for 4 years, never lost a customer, grew it up to 11 customers, and sold the business at 16. So on a master resume, you'd put lawn care business. Started at 12, sold it at 16, grew it from 1 to 11 customers, never lost a customer, sold it at 16. But what do we have inside that if you're really listening? Goal setting, starting a business. Focus, followed through, took action. He has some sales skills, some customer service skills, and a work ethic to keep 11 lawns cut for 4 years, through 4 spring to falls. That takes some doing for 12-year-olds and 14-year-olds and 16-year-olds. So, that's one thing on a master resume. Another example, maybe you get volunteered. Another young person I dealt with, and you volunteer at 12 or 13 and you get placed in charge of training for the preteens. And over the course of the first year you recruit 12 youth, 12 preteens and some youth to join in. And you have 12 of them for the first 18 months, and then you have 10 dedicated volunteers, and you do that for 7 years. You're in charge of training, scheduling, depending on your country. And you pull it off and you do it well. So, those are great skills. 12 or 13 years old, you're recruiting preteens and teens. You're training them and you're scheduling them. That's good. It shows initiative, shows people skills, and oh, did I mention these people were performing as part of a volunteer group in front of groups of 20 to 400 or 500 every time. So we had to help them with their comfort, their confidence. So the qualify, quantify are important because prospective employer wants to know, what have you accomplished to date? Because in interviews, if you've watched the other interview, one of the things about interviews is what have you done so far? Often has a lot to do with what will you do in the future. It's called the behavior interview, and that's vital. If you don't know yourself when they say, so what have you done so far? And if you're going, I don't know, it really lessens your chances of success. So there's obvious benefits to a master resume. You don't have to use this in an interview beforehand. You've already got it laid out. You've practiced what from your master resume is good and ideal for the current situation you're seeking. And it helps you take a look at your career trajectory. Where have you been? What have you accomplished? What are you going to do? So let's recap. Let's wrap this up. A master resume. Jobs and careers to date. Hobbies, past and present. Accomplishments in all of these things. Volunteer, travel, education, languages, any extra specialized skills, and what you accomplish in each one. So, till next time, I'm Michael Ballard. Imagine yourself with more resiliency for life. And start that master resume, would you? Time's ticking by. Bye. Thanks.